Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? We're just going to sit here for a second and wait for some people to join. We're in a new venue. We were supposed to be on Instagram, but that platform does not support my software. So, Facebook it is. And this will be up on my YouTube channel later today as well, or later tonight, I should say. So, you'll be able to watch it on repeat on YouTube also. So, as soon as we get a few people in, we'll go ahead and get started. Tonight, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why we need a support system and what the importance of that is. So, I'm excited everyone's joining. All right, it looks like we've got a few people on, so I'm going to go ahead and get started so that we're not holding you guys up too long tonight. So, thank you again for being here, for taking time out of your evening to spend a little bit of time with me. This is something that I have been wanting to do for quite some time, to get a support group going. And just kind of, we don't even have to call it a support group because I honestly feel like sometimes when we use that terminology, there's a little bit of a pushback, like it's too much like therapy. And I am by no means a therapist, so I don't want to disillusion you or scare you away with those kind of thoughts. So, but tonight I thought it would be kind of nice to hop on here and show you guys what it is that we do when we meet in the peer-to-peer groups. Let's call it that instead of the support group. Um, but I've moved those from an in-person meeting to a virtual meeting so that we can reach more people that way. And it's just a little bit easier for people. You know, we live in the day and age of technology, so having access to the ability to do things virtually is huge. And so I thought I would capitalize on that. So without any further ado, let's just hop right in. So why do I need a support system? Like what's the purpose of having a support system? And specifically, what does it do for me? Okay, let's just clarify before we get too far into this. This isn't even necessarily just for survivors of domestic violence. This is for survivors in general. And if you stop and think about that, we're all a survivor to some extent. We've all survived something. Um, Life, for example. We're all surviving life, and it takes courage and it takes tenacity to get through this thing called life. And if you don't have a support system in place, that can be really challenging. It can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation. When you have a support group in place, it or not even a support group, just a support system. When you have a support system in place, you have this human connection where you feel like you're a part of something. So instead of feeling like you're kind of going at this alone, that you don't have any camaraderie, that you don't have anyone that you can talk to. When you have a support system in place, you've got those people that give you that human connection, give you a sense of belonging, and just that home base kind of feeling. So that's probably the most valuable piece of having that support group in place, is just knowing that you always kind of have a place to come back where you can be unapologetically yourself. A lot of times when you're going through something, you end up feeling emotionally drained, and you just don't have any energy left for the day-to-day things that you need to take care of, whether it's getting the kids to and from school, or doing what's expected of you at your job, or in your role as a caretaker, whatever it may be. When life comes at you and when you're dealing with things, no matter how service level or how deep they are, it can definitely lead to feelings of being emotionally drained and just mentally tired. When you have a group of peers who understand your plight, who are sympathetic to your plight, who are like-minded, it gives you that strength that you're looking for, that strength that you need. Now, not to be confused, you shouldn't be seeking strength and happiness in other people, but it's okay to lean on people a little bit when you're not feeling 110% yourself. There's no shame in that. So, I know for myself, it's really hard to ask for help, and I know that I'm not alone in that, because again, my support system is comprised of like-minded people. So most of us are of the mindset of being strong, independent women, and there's nothing that we can't handle. And sometimes the reality is we really can't handle anything and we need a little bit of help from our friends. So, they've written songs about that. So there's a reason for it, you guys. There's definitely a reason for it. Another good perk to having a support system in place is just that it helps you reduce stress. When you're able to talk to people, again, unapologetically, uninhibited about the things that are happening in your life, about the things that are just kind of beating you up in the moment, it allows you to just detox and just to increase the amount of peace that you have inside of you. Whether you're doing yoga like the people on your screen in front of you, or whether you're just kind of talking it out and bantering back and forth, and being able to vent. When I think I've shared with you guys before, I used to live in Ohio. I relocated to South Florida several years ago, and but one of the things I used to do when I was in Ohio, my best friend and I, we used to meet up for what we called margarita therapy. Now, by no means am I encouraging alcoholism or encouraging anybody to go down that road. But it was definitely something that benefited both of us. It was just a time to come together where our children weren't there. There were no men there. It was just she and I, one on one, and we could have margarita therapy and just talk about all the things that were stressing us out. And it could be something as simple as just we had to go get groceries, the dog was sick, and our oldest son wrecked his bike and broke his finger or something. I don't know. I'm totally just, spitballing here. But it didn't always have to be some deep, big tragedy. Like, it's important to have this in place for just everyday support. You don't have to be going through something horrible to need the help of peers and friends. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. When you are under constant stress and when things are in constant disarray, it can lead you to feeling sick and tired. You physically feel sick and tired. Mentally, you're sick and tired. Overall, you're just sick and tired of everything. And that comes from not having anything in place to kind of allow you to vent out what it is that you're dealing with. When you have a support system, you're able to live in a body that is healthy, live in a mind that is healthy and thriving. It doesn't mean that you're running 5Ks, but maybe it does. It doesn't mean that you're lifting hundreds of pounds at the gym, but maybe it does. Maybe it just means that you're able to get up in the morning and handle your day. So, healthy and thriving looks different for all of us. Sick and tired looks different for all of us. I know some really active people my most active state. I probably look like I'm knocking on death's door compared to them. So keep that in mind. Don't compare yourself to other people. Um, you are unique, you are one of a kind, and it's just really important to kind of lean into that and own that. Be be secure in the person that you are. You can do that when you have a support system in place. Are you guys tired of hearing me say support system yet? So, people who are just kind of going through it, it hits our self-esteem, and I don't have to tell you guys that, you already know. If you've ever dealt with any kind of challenge or obstacle in life, undoubtedly, at some point, you've looked at yourself in the mirror and said, "What is it about me? What is it about me that brings me to this place? What is it about me that warrants these types of things happening to me?" I'm here to tell you it's nothing about you. It's called life. Okay. And sometimes when you don't have uplifting and encouraging and supportive people in your front row, I talk about my front row a lot. When you don't have people in your front row that understand you, support you, empathize with you, it can just make you feel like there's something wrong with you. Like, what's the matter with me? Again, I'm here to tell you there's nothing the matter with you. And when you find your people, your person, your confidence is going to skyrocket. I am walking proof of that. So if you are struggling with loving yourself right now, I really encourage you to look around at who you're spending your time with. The people, they say this about athletes, athletes get better in their chosen sport when they play with athletes that are better than them because they rise to the competition. Human nature does that across the board. It doesn't have to just be in athletics. It happens in your day-to-day life. When you surround yourself with people that are not like-minded, who are not on the same path as you, who are not growing and evolving at the same rate as you, in the same direction as you, it can hold you back and it can throw you off your path. And when you're not on the path that you're supposed to be on, everything is a challenge. And those challenges can make you feel like you're inefficient, that you're incompetent, that you're not capable. And all of these lies and doubts start creeping into your head and you're beating yourself up. And then pretty soon, every time you look in the mirror, you just have a scowl on your face because you don't love yourself anymore. And that's just not where we want to be, right? So, how do we build a support system? Where do we go to find these people? There's a million different places we can go, but how do we know that we're going to find people that are like us? People who share our views, who share our visions, who share our aspirations? Well, for some of us, it's at our place of worship. Maybe it's at church. Maybe you're really leaning into your faith, and that's where you can find other people that are on the same path as you. For a lot of people, it's at the gym. I wish this is where mine was. I wish a million times over that this is where I found my support system. But for a lot of people, the gym is where they go to release those frustrations, to release that tension. And there's a lot of people there that are doing the same thing. So, you strike a conversation up, and next thing you know, you're going for Java after the workout. So maybe the gym is where you find what you're looking for. Maybe it's in a book club or some other type of special interest club, book club, art club. A lot of people like to dance. So maybe it's at a dance class of some sort. Finding who you are and what brings you joy is the first place to start. And then from there, you'll find other people who do the same types of thing to bring themselves joy. And then the next thing you know, you've got this amazing network of people who lift you up and encourage you on the days that you can't do that for yourself. Sometimes you'll find support in charitable causes, service groups. Again, where I'm from in Ohio, there is a plethora of service groups. There's Optimus, there's Rotary, there's Kiwanis, the Lions Club, the Moose, the Eagles, Sartoma. Um, oh gosh, I know I'm missing some, but there's hundreds of ways to be of service to your community. And I know personally speaking, when I'm going through something and I'm able to help somebody else, it automatically changes my mood. I am automatically in a better frame of mind when I'm doing something kind for other people. It takes my mind off of whatever my stressors are. I'm usually working side by side with somebody. So again, I feel that sense of camaraderie and connection and belonging, and everything just kind of comes together in that moment. And I can start to hierarchy or triage the things that are going wrong in my life. And a lot of times I'll find that there's really not that much wrong in my life. I'm really pretty blessed comparatively. So maybe getting involved in a service club is where you'll find that support system. And then there's always the online community. Now, I was hesitant to share this simply because whew, this is a tough one because we're all meeting on social media right now, right? A lot of you I have met through social media outreach, and social media is a very powerful tool. And in power, there is absolute terrifying realities. So if you are using online communities to find your tribe, um, I just I would be remiss if I didn't warn you to use caution when you're doing that, to thoroughly research the people that you're following, the people that you're sharing personal information with. Behind a computer screen, we can all be whoever we want to be. Who we really are in reality may or may not match that persona. So, with that being said, there are ways that you can find those like minded people online. It doesn't have to be through social media. There are message boards and communities that exist upon websites for various agencies and organizations, where they go to promote what it is they're about, their mission in life. And so there are a multitude of ways that you can do that. You can stay connected through the internet, through technology. Um, but in all things, even in person, in real life, you should use caution when you're meeting up with people, especially for the first time. Keep your wits about you. Tell somebody where you're going. Don't give rides to people that you don't know. Don't accept rides from people that you don't know. Just the common sense approach to venturing out and doing something that you haven't done before. So, in short, that was just kind of short and sweet, and a quick overview of the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about in the Let's Talk meetings that we have, the peer to peer support. I definitely want to get away from calling it a support group because I know that there's a tendency to kind of, when you hear that, it feels like therapy. And some people have a bad taste in their mouth about therapy, and we don't want anybody to have a bad taste in their mouth about anything that we're doing. So I try to meet monthly. Like I said, we've moved that from an in-person meeting to a virtual meeting so that we can accommodate and reach more people that way. I am not opposed to hopping on social media and doing it like this as well. The only piece of this that I don't like is that we're limited in communication, and I don't just want to spew my opinions and thoughts on you guys. I want the feedback. It's called Let's Talk for a reason. So I am completely inspired by you guys. You guys empower me to keep thinking of ways to just better this world and make more mentally strong people, more properly loved people, to show people how they can step forward in life and just be a loving entity, that you don't have to carry the things from your past and the horrible things that have happened to you. You don't have to let them make you bitter, and you don't have to carry those things around with you. You can forgive the people that have done you wrong, and you can forgive yourself. for doing yourself wrong, for causing yourself obstacles and issues that you didn't necessarily have to have. And again, that's another reason why you need to have a solid system in place for people that uplift you and support you, know how to reach you when you're inconsolable. Um, I can't stress the importance of that enough. So I thought that would be a good way to kind of kick this off and let you guys know what this is all about, kind of let you know what I'm all about. And hopefully you guys will join me again and we can do some one-on-one. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is I would love for you to share your expertise, your stories. Obviously, my platform is domestic violence awareness. But like I said earlier in this live, this particular discussion isn't necessarily about being a survivor of domestic violence. It's about being a survivor of life. We've all been through something traumatic at some point in our lives. So it didn't have to be that you were with a partner who was physically, mentally, financially, spiritually abusive to you. It could just maybe you're a survivor of an illness, a survivor of an accident, a survivor of anything. Again, life, just surviving life is a victory in and of itself. So when we share our stories, when we come together and talk about the things that worked for us, talk about the things that didn't work for us, talk about the right turns we made, the wrong turns we made, the completely hilarious turns that we made, we share our story. And in doing that, we empower other people to feel free to share theirs. It's hard sometimes to admit when you were wrong, how you went wrong, how it was entirely your fault that you went wrong. Those are really hard things to sort of be honest about and be transparent about. So when you're able to do that, it's important that you do so that again, you'll empower other people to do the same thing because then this freeing thing happens and it just elevates you. I've been telling people a lot recently that over the past year, I have adopted this policy of living in full disclosure. And in doing so, I have found total freedom. I do not have to hold back anything. I don't have to give you a certain version of me because there's one version of me. And that is my true authentic self. And being that person is just, it's like a whole new level. I feel like in this video game of life, I have completely leveled up. I'm about to save the princess, you guys. So, anyhow, that's all I've got. I've been babbling to you for long enough. I hope you took something from this. And like I said, I'm going to be updating my website soon so you'll know what February looks like. This coming Saturday or next Saturday, I'm sorry, next Saturday, February the 11th, is the Let's Paint fundraiser that's happening here in South Florida at the 1201 Bake Shop in Lake Worth. So we're all getting together. Tickets are on sale until tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, you can still do that. The link is on my website, slcook.org. And I have been blasting social media with that. So you can join us there. I do have another little something planned for probably March or April. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm still working out the details on that. And then the big year-end event will be in October, which is celebrating survival. And that is going to be a free community event. Still, again, working on the details of that. So I will update you guys as soon as I have it. In the meantime, you guys, if you have a story to tell and you would love to join me on social media, you would love to join me in one of the virtual peer-to-peer discussions, hit me up. You can message me here. You can email me. It's talktome@slcook.org, or you can call me 786-519-4768. I think that's all I've got. You guys have a great evening. Everyone be safe, be good to one another, be good to yourselves, and just remember that you're loved. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.